behind me and wondering, what kind of Wagoneer is that? Well, it's actually a Jeep. And in fact, it is a Jeep Wagoneer. Now I want to show you, I got the privilege of getting an early peek at the brand new, first ever, all-electric Jeep, which will carry the Wagoneer name. There is a lot of promise for the very first all-electric Jeep. It carries that 4xe credential. That's an important badge. It has all the wonderful things about Wagoneer, except that third row. Pretty disappointed about that, but hopefully that will change quickly. It is filled with luxuries at $72,000. It should be. And Jeep has a really good track record with selling 4xEs. That is one of the most popular Jeep trims, whether it's Wrangler or otherwise, on the road right now. We won't get to test drive it until the fall, but I feel pretty confident that when this thing rolls out, there's going to be a lot of people waiting to take a test drive too. Be sure to follow along on our social channels. Check out girlsguidetocars.com, see what we have over there, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Oh, and by the way, when we put a video up here in the corner, we pick that out just for you. You're watching this, we think you're going to like that. The front of the Wagoneer S is really iconic. I want to show you, I'm working on a platform, it's a little dangerous, but I want to show you, look at this front grille. It has this light bar across the front and what they call the Sarge grille, or it's those sort of those 7 slots. In the photos, it actually looks like almost sort of a blossom. It really is much more distinct here. We don't need that big air intake on the front. We only need the small one that we have here. And so the result is a really sleek, almost the most modern, futuristic looking Jeep face that we've ever seen. It is pretty cool. The Wagoneer is going to roll out this fall. I want you to notice the Wagoneer name. It doesn't say Wagoneer S, but it does have that US flag, and it has flush door handles. Check out these flush door handles. And then I want you to notice this. Over here on the rear is the Wagoneer S badge. Back here, we do see Jeep. So we don't see Jeep with the Wagoneer name, but we do see Jeep back here. And that 4xe badge, that's what designates that it's all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and it's electric. We see the Wagoneer S badge here as well. And then I want you to see this. The Wagoneer S actually has this sort of hollow spoiler on the rear. So it's kind of hard to see because it's all dark, but the spoiler actually is open to the window. So you can see here, there's the window and the spoiler, and I want you to notice the silhouette. It is a really cool silhouette on the Wagoneer S. Now the lighting in here is a little harsh and it's hard to see, but I think when you see this out in the wild, it's going to be quite impressive. And look at this, you can see daylight up through that spoiler. It looks like a racing spoiler. It looks pretty badass, but it actually is designed for aerodynamics for the electric car. So the idea is that it lets the air flow down through the spoiler and across the back lip of the deck here, the spoiler here. So the air comes through here and out this way, and it doesn't slow you down. And that whole idea will give you more mileage, more range from the electric battery, which is really nice. I'm gonna hop inside and show you what this car looks like. So I'm gonna start by opening up, and I'm gonna climb inside and show you guys what the story is here inside the Jeep Wagoneer S. Look how beautiful this is. So ours is outfitted in red leather. Oh my God, do you hear that? It has like even futuristic chimes. So when I open the driver's side door, I get that futuristic chime. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm gonna do, oh my gosh. I'll do a little close-up of this. The ambient light actually is changing color. So it's orange over here, it's blue over here. When I open the door, it has, oh my, look at this door. So it's orange here. And then when I close it, it turns sort of a green color or yellow color, and then it fades to blue. I am freaking out about this detail right here. This is an electric door handle. All you do is push it with your thumb, and I'll give you a close-up of that, and it just opens. My favorite feature in all of electric cars right now is that silly thing. I promise you, once you get used to using that electric door latch, you are not going to be able to go back. So I want to show you what else is in here, and I'll do some close-ups. This is probably the most futuristic screen I've ever seen. So you've got one massive screen here, and then you've got a massive screen here. So Jeep says this is 42 inches, this is a 12-inch, this is a 10-inch, this is a 12-inch. There's a little panel over here, and I can't really tell what's there yet. This is a pre-production model, so I can't see everything. But I do see there's a head-up display here, which is phenomenal. I also see it has a squircle. I love a good squircle. I love a squircle. So what a squircle is it's flat on the top and the bottom. And what that means is that as you're steering, your steering wheel stays low and out of your range of view, out of your field of view. So from the driver's seat, and I have not positioned the seat high yet for me. Normally, I like the seat a little bit higher, so I'm going to put it up where I normally like it. And what I see is I see the top of the steering wheel, I see some of the dash, I can see the head-up display, and then it's all road. And I love that. So there's another screen here. This is our digital rear view mirror. There's another screen here. This is a climate panel. And then we have some things that we've gotten used to and come to really love in the Wagoneer. So we have this dial with textured metal. There's some really beautiful etched composite material. I'm not going to call it plastic, but maybe it is. But it's really beautiful. A couple of buttons here. I see our drive mode selector is here. This is our gear selector right here. And then and the start button right there. I'm going to show you that. There is a wireless phone charger here, and this really lovely red leather armrest here. I'm going to show you these seats. The seats are really futuristic looking. They are beautiful. We have a panoramic sunroof. Everything, Jeep says that almost everything that you see here is standard. So $72,000 is the starting price of this car, but that probably is the all-in price as well. You probably need to add a few extras like tax and who knows, but they're giving you also a home charge kit, or they're giving you a credit at free to move electric charging stations. And so that's a nice bonus. That's probably worth a couple of $1,000s. And then they're also giving you a really powerful powertrain. It's 600 horsepower and a 300 or so mile range. That is pretty awesome for the very first electric Jeep. The interior of the Wagoneer is filled with really beautiful materials. I'll point out a few things that I see instantly, and that is a micro suede headliner or ceiling liner. You'll also see it here on these pillars. This really beautiful textured metal along the door panels, and it's also on the front dash. Our air vents are up here, so they're designed to really come to the top of the car, cool off everyone in the cool up from the top down, which makes a lot of sense. And one last thing that I will show you, you're going to see right here in the door panel, and that is the Macintosh sound system, which also comes standard. And that's a partner that Jeep has worked with over the years to be able to bring in not only classic heritage sound system, but a really excellent sound system that sounds great in their cars. But I just can't get over the electric door handle. I love this. And now I just noticed this panel actually moves. You can actually move that up out of the way. This, and there are buttons here, which we weren't able to see on the other one. So here is our camera, lane keep assist, traction control, park assist, parking sensor, and cameras. So none of this is working because we're in a pre-production model right now, so not everything is powered, but check this out. That is clever. Back here, there's actually 3 more USB ports and a nice little cubby where you can stow a phone or something like that. But the real question is, how many car seats can you fit in the second row? Let's take a look. As excited as I am about the Jeep Wagoneer S, I am bummed there is not a third row. So I know you're going to ask the question, are we going to be able to fit child passenger car seats in here if we don't have a third row? And I'm going to tell you, I think so. So I was really comfortable in this seat. I'm 5'8", and let's see what kind of space we have seat back to seat back. I've got about 31 inches. So 31 inches is ample space. We need 29 to fit a rear-facing child passenger car seat. So you should be able to do that. This one looks pretty far back, like it's set for someone really tall. And this one gives us, where this seat position is, gives us 27 inches. So 27 inches, I noticed today I wasn't really doing this very straight. But we've got about 26 inches actually, with this seat all the way back here. So plenty of space, definitely for a forward-facing child passenger car seat. Now let's look at our width. So we've got about 20 inches, 19 inches wide in the outboard seats, and we've got about 11 inches here in the center seat. So very comfortable for two child passenger car seats in either of the outboard seats. I would be less excited about putting a seat here. The way that the seat belts are sort of tucked in here, it might make it a little difficult to put a child passenger car seat in here. But the outboard seats, no problem. And we have latches built in here. They are not covered. They are just tucked right there underneath the seat. So they're going to be very easy to reach and easy to slide those car seats in that have rigid latch connectors. So I like that. What else do you get in the rear seat of the Wagoneer S? Well, our air vents are here. We have heated and cooled outboard seats, heated and cooled. There are two USB ports and there's a household outlet. So totally Jeep. I love that. That is very, very Jeep to have a household outlet there, because you have something, an air compressor or whatever it is that you need to power when you're out on the road, you need a household outlet. And Jeep has been doing that forever, and that's a feature that I really love. There are map pockets here with hooks. They have hooks, so you could actually attach 1, 2, 3, 4 trash bags right here on the back of the seat backs. I love that. We have grab bars here. Each seat has one overhead. The panoramic sunroof comes to here, so anyone who's sitting in this seat will be able to have sunshine on their shoulder if that's what makes them happy. That's what makes me happy. I'm looking to see if these seats, let's see, so they do recline a little bit. That's it. They recline just a tad, tiny little bit. That's it. And then over here on the door panel, we have the ambient light strip here. There's some nice textured metal. I see our Macintosh speaker here in the door. So a lot of really nice features for second row passengers. Unfortunately, no third row. So I do have to tell you, the last thing I usually do is open the trunk on a new car, but today I have to. Ooh, if I can figure out what the trick is to it. Pull it twice, and then we have a frunk. The only reason I'm showing this to you is because there is storage here. Now, it's not a ton of storage. I'll show you how much it is, but it is enough to put your charge cord, an emergency kit, a beach blanket, presents that you don't want anyone to see. That's a clever hiding place. And then it looks like there's maybe a little mat here that if you need to spill something in there, you need to clean it out, you can do that. And I have to say, I love a good frunk. However, as much as I love a frunk, I also love a lift gate. So let's look and see what the story is here. Now, I'm going to tell you this is a pre-production model. The lift gate is not as secure as they would like it to be. Normally, I would just press the button and it would open up by itself, but here I have to do it manually, and that's okay because I still get to get inside it and see what it's all about down here. So let's see. First of all, I'm going to show you underneath. There is a really nice storage space. There's some electronics under here. It looks like maybe there's a battery or some sort of component, but there's a fair amount of storage space, and it's a great place to tuck away your power cord. So I will show that to you. And then I noticed that there is a button here to close the lift gate. So the lift gate button is not up here. It's actually over here, which is an established Jeep thing. And then I also noticed that our rear seats are a 60-40 fold. So 60% on that side, 40% on that side. They fold down if you need contiguous flat space. Now, how far back can I go before I hit my head? This is a pretty good tailgating tailgate. I like that I have this space overhead. I like that I can move back pretty far. and we have a good amount of space back here. So things that you need to carry, whether it's gear or the dog or the hockey bags, they're all going to fit. And this is one of the things that I really like about Jeep, is that Jeep knows how to accommodate your stuff. It feels actually very much like a Grand Cherokee. Do I really want to say that out loud? But it does. It feels like that. It feels pretty good. And some really thoughtful touches and a really nicely sized cargo area. The Jeep Wagoneer S is outfitted with a dual motor electric setup that delivers all-wheel drive. It's also fast charging. Jeep says that you'll be able to charge it to 80% at a DC fast charger in just 23 minutes, and overnight at a level 2 at home, which you can get with the level 2 charger that they will give you, in just under 7 hours. The Wagoneer S is the first Wagoneer not to have a third row, and that is kind of a disappointment because we love our third rows in the Wagoneer, but we're used to the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and this is really the size that you might expect from the Jeep Grand Cherokee rather than the Wagoneer, so don't let the name throw you. But I am excited about this new grille. I'm excited about all these luxurious details and this power plant that's going to give us over 300 miles of range, 600 horsepower, so really, really fast, instant torque, and fast charging power plant. We can't wait to drive this in the fall. But wait, there's more. Wait till you see this. This is the Wagoneer Trailhawk, and Jeep actually just sprung this on us today. As we were looking at the Wagoneer S, they pulled the silk off of this. I'll show you. Now, I was sitting in the back of the room, so I finally did get a chance to get up close and personal with the Wagoneer Trailhawk. And I have to say, I'm pretty excited because everything that we love about Trailhawk, so off-road ready, extra capability, a little higher ground clearance, the ability to drive through water, to ford water, and there are a few other details on here that make this even cooler and more capable for the off-road. Let me show you what I can. It's a concept, it's not an actual car that's open for orders yet, but if people like it, they're going to build it. So if you like it, tell Jeep that you like it. The Trailhawk starts with that same brand new all-electric front end that we saw on the Wagoneer S, and it has those telltale classic recovery hooks here on the front. They are red. Now I want you to look closely at this Sarge grille. Rather than being an open air grille, it is actually this treatment here, and then there's lighting underneath. So it's lit now. I don't know if you can see the lighting. It is lighted, and they do have these daytime running lights on. So it gives this very sleek look. I haven't yet seen it in the dark. I think I will be able to soon, and I'm pretty excited. And check out these fog lights. They are so modern and so cool. They almost look like something out of the mind of an illustrator or an animator, and not necessarily car design. The Wagoneer is, there's some special paint on here. This color is sort of a metallic green, and Jeep says that it's designed to self-heal. So if it gets dinged with rocks, it will repair itself. And I have to say, I love that idea. Here is the cargo area. It's very large, not a surprise here because we are used to Jeeps that have this large open hatch. So let's look into the driver's seat and see what we see here. So there are a couple of details that they showed us that are iconic that you might see in the Wrangler. Things like instead of having a panel here, you actually just have elastic to hold things in place. But then also, we do see that electric door handle there. You'll see the leatherette that we saw in the Wagoneer S and the same shaped seats. We'll see those here as well. And the squircle, it has the squircle. I love the squircle. That gives you added visibility. And notice that the hood line here over the driver display also is really low. And the driver display is intentionally simplified. The idea is to give you only the information that you need, let you select what you need, and show it to you here, and then also in the head-up display, which is in that box right there. They took a lot of the same ideas from the Wagoneer S, so the display here, there's not a passenger screen there, but do look at this wood material here. It's probably not wood. My guess is, oh, it feels almost like paper. And so my guess is this material has some sort of textured, recycled material. They're using a lot of recycled materials in this interior. And then notice this grab bar here on the front. It looks really open, and actually behind it, it looks like there is a glove box. Let's talk about the center console here. So we have that same shape of the starter button. This one's not outlined in metal. It is covered in a nice heavy plastic. There is a cubby here with a phone charger. We see our downhill descent and 4 low buttons there. And then we see our gear selector, and then the iconic Wrangler red panel drive mode selector there, so you can pick your select train drive mode. And then this leatherette interior and a panoramic sunroof. So this is a concept, and they haven't said that they're going to build this, but it looks like a pretty complete concept if you ask my opinion. And there's a Wagoneer badge there on the floor mat, which is pretty nice. From the center console, there's actually a space underneath, and there's, again, elastic straps that will hold things in place here. Very clever. Let's hop into the rear seat and see what's here. Now, pretty typical. I do see there's a relatively flat floor there. It looks like very comfortable seating. A lot of the things that we saw in the Wagoneer S, you'll see here in the Trailhawk edition. And I do see a cross rail there for the roof rails. Let's look at that. Jeep has talked about this roof rack. You'll see there's the Trailhawk logo on it right there. And this looks like it actually is convertible and extendable, so you can change it for whatever you need and move the cross rails so that you can customize how you need to use it, how you want and need to use it. That's pretty clever. You'll see the 4xe logo here on the side, and look at these wheels. Oh, and wait, there is a Jeep Easter egg. I'm so glad to see that there are still Easter eggs. I want to show you guys this though. So one of the things that's really unique about the Wagoneer S and the Wagoneer Trailhawk is this spoiler here. The spoiler actually is open and it goes through. So normally the spoiler is really a part of the liftgate. It's designed to let air flow through the spoiler and across the rear window and then across here. The whole idea is to keep air flowing and from impeding the car as it's driving, and give you better energy efficiency while also helping to not only manage that air but give you a more manageable drive experience. On the rear of the Trailhawk, you'll notice there are air vents here and then those signature red recovery hooks. It is all Jeep. This is Vince from the design team, and you work on interior design.
I work on exterior design, but I kind of like all Jeep stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And I used to, my previous job, I did all of the user experience work.
Yes, you were the
so
tech,
all
the
tech tech and all the interfaces. And
yeah, because we talked about Uconnect 5 when that first came out.
Yeah. And that's here too.
Yeah, it is, and it's amazing. So
thank you.
But congratulations on the Wagoneer S. So how long have you been working on this?
It's been several. We've been working on this for several years, and actually, when I started working on this vehicle, I was working on the UX side, and I think you were just asking kind of about the driver information display, and that was our big focus, is to like.
I love that you called it a driver display and not a.
Usually, it was instrument cluster.
People say cluster. I'm like, cluster of what? Grapes?
It used to be a cluster of gauges.
Right. But now we call it a driver display or driver information display.
Yeah.
Thank you for changing that language. It's so much more human.
Yeah.
So, but talk about what have you done with the driver display, because it's a little different. The approach is a little different.
So this one has been completely revamped. So the one that we've been used to. This isn't our first digital display. The first one we did was in the Grand Cherokee and the Grand Wagoneer. And just to be transparent, I mean, we got feedback that there was a lot of pages. There's a lot of information, and we said, okay, let's get that feedback. I think we talked about in the past about the user experience team and kind of the new skills we were bringing in and the new fresh points of view. A few of those skills were like user testing experts. So we actually brought that skill into the studio. We got some software tools that allowed us to kind of like test on demand, and we went through many iterations on this display to just reduce the number of pages, the amount of information on the screen. So
Simplify.
Yeah, and it was, you saw the one screen in Ralph's presentation that was literally just the speed in the middle, and then just the kind of some of the information you might need across the bottom, but super simple. I want to say like we reduced the number of pages by like 70%. Like it was a significant, significant amount.
That is a lot.
And it all came from feedback that we got and learnings from kind of some of our existing products. So I think that's a good story. I think
that is a good story.
We're listening.
And now let's talk about this screen. Now you have a lot of screens in here. So we're making the screens, we're simplifying the screens, but we still have more screens. Talk about this, and then talk about this little like secret jewel box over here.
One of the things I like the most is, yes, there's a lot of screens, but each one has a very specific purpose. So the way I usually sit on this one here, the home page, and of course there's no pages here, but I usually have kind of the simple information on the driver display, kind of my music or maps going here, and then this one down here you'll see is
oh my gosh,
is the comfort display. The vehicle's not on, so there's not, but I usually put it on this screen, which is the massage. So and now I just leave it. Like I have my speed here, my music here, my massage there. I'm not pressing buttons. I'm not changing pages.
I'm going to say, a man who's not afraid to say he likes to have a massage in the car. I like that. A massaging seat in the car.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's awesome. If you haven't tried it, it's great.
It is great. It is great.
Especially for long drives, especially if you have 3 kids in the back.
And then there's a screen here.
There's a passenger screen there for the passenger. The passenger screen just has a few different functions in it. Some of my favorites are navigation. So the passenger can help you with the navigation. And that's important because if the car is moving, we lock out the keyboard, so you can't like search for addresses
on this screen.
But
you can on this screen.
But you can on that one.
Because the driver can't see it. Yeah.
It's got the film over the top, so you can't
and so there's 2 other screens I want you to talk about. This one.
Yep.
Which is the digital rear view mirror. And why do you like a digital rear view mirror?
It gives you like uninterrupted full view of everything behind you. Real time. Okay. Again, I'll go back to my I'm always driving around with the kids and family and packing the trunk. You can pack it to the headliner and it doesn't impede your view at all. You can see everything.
It's brighter at night.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
And then there's another screen over here. Now I can't really see what's on it, but I can see the box. What is that?
So that's the heads-up display.
Wow.
And so another use case that I could do. So heads-up display will give you really simple but like information you need like on demand, like speed, warnings, your automatic, your cruise control, distance, things like that. I usually just put the speed up there. And I'll use that for speed if I've got like navigation going down here, because you can do full screen navigation in this information display.
You can get like your map,
So imagine
driver display can be all map and all navigation.
So imagine you're driving, you've got your speed here, you've got your directions in your map here, you've got your music here, you got massage here. You've got like everything you need. So you have all these screens.
And I have the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on this screen. It's important.
And you can put cameras there. So it's a pretty...
Wow. And are we going to have screens in the second row?
We haven't announced anything there yet,
but that
we do
sounds
in the Grand
like
Wagoneer.
Maybe there will be.
Uconnect 5 can power, many different screens. So
I don't know. I'm fine with them not having screens. just saying. Yeah. How many kids do you have?
3.
How old are they?
13, 10, and 2.
So are you with me in saying please add a third row?
My wife always has a third row vehicle, so
I think it's.
But we have the.
To me, a 3-row electric is like the key to life.
We have the Grand Cherokee 3-row and we have the Grand Wagoneer 3-row. Both of depending on your family needs and stuff are.
Which do you like better?
For me, with 3 kids, I like the Grand Wagoneer better.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I'm on Team Jeep Grand Cherokee L.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite all-time cars ever. So talk about the exterior design a little bit of the Wagoneer S. What was your goal in creating the exterior?
Yeah, so we knew, like, right up front, we knew this was going to be fully electric. And we knew that it was going to have, like, a great level of performance. So I think the first thing for us came to mind is, like, it's going to be fully electric. We want it to have great range. That automatically means the aerodynamics are going to have to be, like, amazing. The other thing we knew is the grill wasn't going to be functional. And it's like trapezoidal wheel openings, 7-slot grill, boxy profile. That's like all the things that like iconically make a Jeep. We had to reinvent 2 of those. So we knew we had this like big challenge coming. So with the front end, it was like, how do we make this grill, because we don't want to do something that's not functional, especially on a Jeep. How do we make this grill iconic and recognizable, but also functional? So that's when we started, as you heard, like looking at cast lighting, like in architecture, and thinking like, wow, we could have this really iconic 7-slot signature during the day, but then now it could also be visible at night. So we're actually using, so the brightest light kind of creates that kind of confident brow in the front, and then the secondary, it actually, like the light casts down from below it and highlights the 7 slots. So that was like kind of that was a breakthrough for us. And then the aerodynamics that I mentioned was, you know, the roof line had to be like round, and that's not Jeep at all.
No.
So it's like, how do we get your first impression of this to be a Jeep profile, but the wind, you know, shaped by the wind? So we came up with the R-wing.
The wing is really cool.
Yeah.
It is one of the cooler features on this car.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're really excited. So? It's probably one of my favorite. Yeah, and it's kind of a fun story. Like, you know, that was in the original, some of the original sketches, like the one you saw on the screen today, had that little floating wing in it, and we were like, we made it, we put it in the clay model. We're like, this is really cool, but like, there's no way the engineers are going to let us get away with this. So we brought it in the tunnel, the wind tunnel. And
where they test cars. They test everything for aerodynamics.
Yeah, like hundreds and thousands of hours to get it right. But to our surprise, we brought in there like, hey guys, it kind of works, but like if you could just make it like more dramatic, it would work better. So it went from being like this much floating to like 3 times that. Floating,
so like floating over the window.
Yeah, you can put your arm through underneath it. So
I think I did.
Yeah, so
I think that's how I showed that it's open, because it's hard to see the black wing and the black glass. Yeah. In this space.
Yeah, and especially
out in the street, it'll be.
In the street, it's very recognizable. Very clear, But yeah, so the air basically comes up over the windshield, sticks to the roof, and then the spoiler actually, that floating wing actually keeps it stuck to the roof until the very back of the car.
Wow.
And then if you notice on the very far edge, just above the Jeep edge, there's another little lip. And the air hits that, disconnects, and goes off the back, which is exactly like that's what you want.
We talked about that. We pointed that out as well.
So this doesn't go up all the way because we wanted access to the fan.
And how do you get it down?
The temperature. You just push and kind of slowly.
That's so clever. And
you can climb it. This car's off, but you can climb it. You can.
There's driver massage. Yes.
Yeah, driver, passenger massage, or you can turn it off. I always leave it on massage.
Yeah, and then you can. There for.
Yeah, we got USB. We got HDMI port for the passenger screen, so you can plug your phone in over there.
Oh, that's awesome! Real Housewives here.
Wireless charger back here.
That's great. So, that's such a good place.
So if you're using wireless CarPlay, you can put your phone down there, and then because it uses some battery. So
yes, it does.
Put that there. This is all again. I mean, we didn't talk.
Oh yeah, what is this material?
This is the ceramic coating that Ralph talked about.
So this is a ceramic coating that's got.
Yeah, so it's ceramic coated aluminum. And it's again, we'll go back to lessons learned. The glossy black that we have in the vehicles, fingerprints, scratches, all those things. This is anti-scratch, anti-fingerprint.
Wow.
And it still looks great. We do still have a little bit of glossy black. We really still like, the combo.
It looks good.
It looks nice, but we kept it really in limited, less touchable areas.
And then what is this material? This is
aluminum.
Aluminum, okay.
So it's with
aluminium,
if
you're from England.
A print over the top of it.
Okay. And how much chrome is in this car?
0. So yeah, funny thing, and I know we were making the joke that like American designers did a car with no chrome on it. Like, what's the world come to? But we talked with our color and materials team, and they mentioned to us that a chrome plating process is like one of the most hazardous that we have. So we decided to go with a water-based, more satin finish paint for all the trim on the outside.
One last detail I want to ask you about, and that's these little hooks here on the back of the seat panel for grocery bags.
Yeah.
I love that. That is just like one of the little details that just made me smile.
Yeah.
You're thinking about me. That and the household outlet.
Yeah.
You guys are thinking about me. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. So
we're always thinking about families, and
yeah, well,
it's a big part of Jeep too.
Because that's what we do. We get in our cars and we go places with them.
Yeah.
And it's important to be able to go where we want to go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vince.
Yeah, thank you.
That we got to see the Wagoneer Trailhawk was a real treat today. That we got to see the Wagoneer S was a real treat. But there's more. Jeep has new product, electric product, plug-in hybrid electric product, and more gas engines. They're not abandoning the whole idea of gas-powered cars either. There is a pretty exciting future ahead, and we are excited to follow.